Good morning, everybody. So we are, oh my goodness, we got a little frog in my throat there. Sammy, will you come over real quick, please? And will you get it up on my iPad? Good morning, everybody. We are, I'm just going to grab something up on my iPad here. Oh, darn it. So, well, here comes my helper. So I can see you guys.
Have you always wanted to make a shirt?
Oh, we're getting there. Hang on. See, say hello to Sam. Sam, say hello to everyone.
Hello.
Good morning, you guys. We're almost there. Okay, there we go. Okay, we have it. Good morning, you guys. It is Saturday. Oh my gosh, the days all just blend together, don't they? It's Saturday the 9th, and we are here for our 8th class, which is just crazy. And I think I probably say this every time. I don't think any of us had any idea that 8 weeks ago on that Saturday morning when things with the coronavirus had just kind of first started, we were all kind of like deer in the headlights, not quite sure what was going on. I don't think that any of us, at least I didn't, have any idea that 8 weeks later we would still be here. I'm not glad that we're here because of the coronavirus, but I am glad that we're here because this is so much fun. It's something I look forward to every Saturday. Believe it or not, it really is something that Sam looks forward to every Saturday. And so we just love it. So happy Saturday. Also, for all the moms out there, happy Mother's Day tomorrow. I should say moms or pet moms or like a mom or any kind of moms out there. You don't need to actually have children to be a mom, right? You can be aunts or grandmas or, I don't know, can you be a grandma? Well, you can be a grandma, but I think you might have to kind of be a mom, right? Anyhow, we won't, I did get sleep last night, so that is good. All right, so we are going to, I have a couple of housekeeping things that we need to talk about. So the first one is the giveaways from last weekend. So I did a number of them. The first one that we did was a giveaway for someone that had left a comment during the chat, our live chat, because we love the live chat, and I always encourage you guys to live chat. It's really fun to see how you guys are interacting, but then I go back after the fact and watch the live chat. So I gave that one away, I think, on Sunday. Now, I told you guys that on Wednesday I would be giving away, I think there were six other prizes for the people that had left comments in the regular part of the video after the fact. And we've kind of had a little bit of an eventful week here in the Concar household. On Tuesday, and he's in the other room getting breakfast, so he will for sure come in and say a proper hello besides just seeing his head when he was trying to get things ready for us. But so Sam, you guys all know Sam. If you don't know Sam, if you're watching this after the fact and just stumbling across the videos, Sam is our 19-year-old. He is home sheltering in place with us. And he is an avid mountain biker. He loves to go mountain bike riding, and he was mountain bike riding. Well, he was mountain bike riding on Tuesday, kind of early evening, and had a little fall. He went over his handlebars, and luckily he's very smart. Then he listens to his mom. He had his helmet on, so that was very good. But he got pretty scraped up, and then turns out partially separated shoulder, at least we think. So Tuesday night we ended up in the emergency room very, very late. And a couple things that I know now about the emergency room and kind of seeing doctors during this whole coronavirus. We were not able to go into the emergency room with Sam because Sam is an adult. He's 19, so we weren't able to go in because of the virus. So that was an interesting experience for him. We have a follow-up appointment. I should say he has a follow-up appointment now on Monday with an orthopedic surgeon, and that is just for us to go and get really the rundown, because the ER is not really equipped to diagnose things like that in terms of what that all really means in the level or severity of the separation. So this is another thing I learned. We will not be joining him at the doctor's office either. he will be on his own, but I talked to the doctor's staff, and Sam will be phoning. He will be like phoning a friend, like on the old Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He'll be phoning his parents, and we will be on speaker talking to the doctor. So that whole long story short is to tell you that Wednesday I did not announce the giveaways. So I will be doing that now before we get started. So there were 6 giveaways, and these were all random, drawn from the comments. And I will go back to last week's video and then also reply on those comments. So if you're not watching live, you know that you won and you know how to get in touch with me. So Patricia Harvey is a winner. Tybro Mom is a winner. Amy Keel is a winner. Mostly Mandy is a winner. Judy W is a winner. And last but not least, Heidi Heller is a winner. So ladies, I assume those are all ladies. I will, after the video, go back to last week's video, and I will reply to those comments that you ladies left so we can get your prizes sent out. Okay, so today, week 8, we are going to be talking about lots of kind of fun, different tips, techniques, tricks, hacks, whatever you'd like to call them, about traveler's notebooks and working with traveler's notebooks. So we're going to flip the camera and turn on our lights, kind of do our little Blair Witch thing that we always do. And Sam's having cereal.
You're gonna need to figure that out on your own.
Oh, right, yes, because Sam has his arm in a sling. Sam, one-handed, okay, you will just help me, right? You'll help me figure out which way it needs to go. I was going to say I'll start reading some comments while we're doing that, but I don't think that's going to work.
Turn this one.
Turn this guy, okay. All right. Oh, there we go. Okay, that works. That's easy.
And now you gotta
okay.
tighten it now.
All right, you guys. So we're definitely more Blair Witch than normal.
Well, Mill is going full tech support right now.
Wait, hold on. We're a little bit crooked. Okay, Sam, will you turn off the overhead lights, please? All right. How's everybody doing today? Yes, I know. So glad that he is okay. That could have been much worse, but
Mom, he's hungry.
okay, go give the cat. Yes, Poe is our cat, you guys. Poe is he is hungry, Sam says. He's over there whining, so we don't want him to whine while we are working, right? Okay, so Mandy, I'm so glad. Oh, okay, so Sam, all right.
Poe his attention.
All right, so Sam just brought Poe in, so with one arm. He said Poe wants his attention, so you guys can see Poe, and you can only now see his little hair, so there we go. Good morning, Poe. Hey, Sam, go get him a little treat. Alrighty, so I'm just looking at a few comments, but I can't see too many. Yes, Kim, he is good. He, they don't really prescribe pain medication, so I'm glad for that. He is, we just have him on, I don't know, not Tylenol. Oh gosh, I don't remember what it is. One of those big bottles that you buy from Costco. Acetaminophen? Maybe anyway, it's the one, because my mom told me we have to be careful because supposedly, theoretically, that if you get coronavirus, not that we expect him to get coronavirus, but I think the ibuprofen is what you don't want to be taking anyhow. We don't need to go there. Hi, New York. Hi, everyone's saying hi to Poe. All right, my friends. So going back to where we were, there are 10 little tips, tricks, and techniques, and I narrowed it down to 10, but there's kind of more than 10 because then I put them in subcategories. Oh, Karen, yes. So ibuprofen is what we are not giving him. Okay, so lots of fun things that we are going to talk about and take a look at today when it comes to different things that we can do to kind of pump up our traveler's notebook. So I have my list, and we are going to refer to that. So the very first one, you guys, this was a tip that came from my friend Carrie Bradford. And many of you know Carrie, or you know-ish Carrie, because she makes amazing stamps. And I have linked to her website in the description down below. So that's all the kind of words part of the video that you'll be able to see. But I've known Carrie, oh my gosh, for so many years. I was on her design team years and years and years and years ago. And you guys know, I think that I love her stamps. I use her stamps all of the time. But she saw one of my posts on Instagram about traveler's notebooks. I think it was when we were, I think I just read a comment I want to make sure to come back to. I think it was when we were making our own inserts. And Carrie shared a great tip with me on Instagram that I wanted to share with you guys. And I just saw something. Sarah, 8th week in a row. I love that from Topanga. Can you provide some comments on the virtual meetup with Simple Stories in June? Blancha, 1999. I will make a note of that. When we're done, I will make a note of that. So as we are, we were talking about inserts, and she gave me a great tip. So let me just write that at the end here. SS meetup. Okay, there we go. Oh, I still need that. Okay, so back to inserts. You guys, so this is interesting. I love now I can see your comments very easily, but then I get distracted. Like Reverend Joy Ellen just told me a spider just came down in front of her screen. Now, you guys, if that happened to me, oh my gosh, you would hear me. You'd hear me scream because I really don't like spiders.
We'd have to throw up the technical difficulties.
We'd have to throw up a technical difficulties, and unfortunately, we wouldn't have the 5-second swear delay because I would probably swear. All right, so this tip that she shared with me, and I had never heard this, and I loved this tip because I think it's so applicable to so many of the things that we had talked about. So when we are looking at our inserts, most of our inserts, especially if we're not making our own, they're stapled, and that is how they are held together. That's how all the pages in the cover are held together. Now, sometimes some are stitched. We talked about in the video 2 weeks ago about how we can make our own inserts, how we can stitch our own inserts. But for the most part, they have staples in the center. And that sometimes that can cause a little bit of a problem for us, especially if we are stamping. And this is where the brilliant Carrie Bradford came into play because she makes stamps. So her tip was, she said almost all the time when she gets a new traveler's notebook insert like this, she opens it up and she removes the staples, okay? So I've taken a letter opener, but you could take a staple remover. Whatever you're doing, you want to be kind of gentle as you're doing this because you don't want to rip the pages. But I have opened up the little staples there, and I can basically, well, very carefully, actually, we'll come around it from the back side now with my letter opener. I'm going to pop those staples out. So the reason I want to pop those staples out, it will make it much... Oh, okay, Sam's helping. One-handed Sam is helping. One-armed Sam is helping. So now it's still together, but it's separate, right? So from there, I can, as I work on it, I could either slide it into my traveler's notebook, right? I could slide it in through one of my little bands. Even though it is not stapled together, I can still slide it through that band. Sometimes we'll make our own inserts and we won't even connect them, and this is what we would do. So in that case, we don't have to worry about losing any of the pieces because they're held together by our little elastic. Yeah.
You're working off screen a little bit.
Oh, yeah, you guys, I am. Sorry about that. All right. I am working off screen. All right, let's get that. Sam, I just moved it up here.
Way too low.
Yeah, I think so. All right, you guys, thank you for whoever said that. Oh,
that
goodness.
Was Lori Heathorn.
All right, thanks, Lori. Okay, hang on, you guys.
Is that better?
There. I'll just move closer. There we go. I move closer to here.
Fix your phone.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so if that happens again, just yell. And Michelle, yes, I'm going to talk about your tip as well. So Diane, you don't need to restaple it. So maybe not. So let's talk about when you might restaple it and a little bit more about why we would do this. I'm going to pop this back out again. One of the reasons why we would do this is that it's super flat right now, right? I can, now as I start adding to it, it may not be as flat anymore, but I can take out any of my individual pages, okay? Like that, and I can work on them individually. It may be a lot easier for me to work on it like that as a flat piece of paper than it would be in my insert. The other reason, if I am stamping, it makes it so much easier to stamp on a flat piece of paper than it does to stamp in something like this, right? And we'll talk about stamping in a second because there's more I want to talk about stamping. That's another one of my tips. So I'm going to grab a little tool here real quick. All right, so you may know about this tool. This tool is called the Misty, and it stands for the most incredible stamping tool invented. That's the Misty. So if I've taken out my staples, then I can take one of my insert pages like this, and I can slide it right into my Misty for my stamping. So let's pretend that I wanted to stamp on this page right here. I've just opened that up. I've grabbed my little my magnets, and then actually I wouldn't do that. That's not gonna work. Hang on, Sammy. I need to fix this.
You should put this
No,
one.
no, I can't. This won't work like this because we need to think about this. We need to go like this because
Open it up now.
no, there we go. That's good.
Well, Mom, this is
Okay,
for when
it's
you have
sweetie.
it open the next
It's
by
fine.
the crease.
It is fine, sweetie, because now, and I already have stamps loaded up over here. I don't have ink on them. Okay, put it right there. All right, now I can very easily, that won't work there, move that over there.
Now very easily.
There, now very easily, I can come and stamp whatever I want to stamp, and I am able to do that using my flat surface. So I hope that makes sense, because if you don't know about the Misty tool, it's pretty awesome. What I've just done.
The tool sounds better though.
Well, the large Misty tool, there is a large one that's a 12 by 12. Yeah, so if you're doing like 12 by 12 scrapbook pages, then it's good. So basically all I'm doing here is you load your stamps up over here, and then whatever you want to stamp on over here, and you get your nice impression. I'm not a huge card maker, but I know card makers love this because basically you can just, if you're doing Christmas cards or something, you can just over and over, in goes your next card and over and over. The other nice thing is, and this happens to me a lot, if you don't quite get a really nice solid impression, then you can come back and re-ink and then do that again. And that's really hard to do if you're not using one like that. Yeah, there are a couple people that make it. Tim Holtz has one, I believe, as well. I know, Michelle, they are definitely an expensive tool. So if you are not a big stamper, then it probably doesn't pencil out. One thing I want to mention, so I have a couple of Carrie's stamps here, and this is part of my setup. I think I've showed you before my my out the airplane window traveler's notebook that I've been working on that is now also grounded because I haven't been traveling. Anyhow, there are stamps that I use of Carrie's, and these right here, they're hard to see, but those block stamps. She re-released them. So I don't know, this was earlier this week. So if you were looking for those and you didn't have a chance to pick those up, go check out our website. All right, so that is one of the really nice things, but it just kind of, I think when you take the staples out, makes it much easier to work with. Will you put those back in there for me, sweetie? Thank you. All right, so then someone had asked, well, do I never need to kind of attach it back together again? And that really depends. And I am going to jump now to our next, this kind of dovetails me into our next tip. And that is working with binder clips. So I have lots of different binder clips. And some of them I use for decorative purposes. And when I say decorative purposes, I mean earlier this week on Instagram, I had, actually it's kind of both form and function. I had shared this spread that I did in my second Coronavirus Traveler's Notebook. And that little clip there, decorative, right? But it also, when I was taking a photo of it, helped it to lay down flat. So I use clips like that for a lot of different things. This is actually my third Traveler's Notebook, my third Coronavirus Traveler's Notebook that I am working on. And what I've done here, I have just used one of my binder clips just to keep that closed because I have pre-printed some things that are not yet attached. I have added little sticky notes for different things that I am working on. But there are a lot of things that I've already pre-printed that I don't want to fall out. So using any of your binder clips are great too. If you're kind of have a project that's in process like that, that's a great way to kind of keep that together with your binder clips. Binder clips or bowl clips or whatever you call them. But another, oh, here we go. Back to this. If I have had this in my traveler's notebook insert, or excuse my traveler's notebook, and the bands are holding it down. I saw a question. I'll come back to that really quick. If the bands are the elastic band is holding it down, then I don't really have to worry about it moving around. But if I want to take it out and work with it, then I might want to just grab.
Mom, where did you get your little May calendar?
I know, I'm going to grab that in a sec. So I might want to just take a little clip and clip that right there. Clip it so it stays open so I can work on it. So binder clips, good for lots of different things. The other time that sometimes I use my binder clips is in this little guy. If I want my inserts to stay closed when they're in my traveler's, I haven't adhered those in, so they just keep flying out. But if I want those to stay closed, then I'll just clip them at the bottom, and then there we go. And you also can find, little binder clips that are cute too. Okay, so one of the questions that just came up, where did I get that May calendar? So that May calendar is from a 12 by 12 piece of paper. It is, I believe it is a crepe paper, made by Crepe Paper. So I will, I think I have 2 sheets. One of them I have cut up.
Where's the other one?
I'm not sure, sweetie. So you know what, maybe it might be over in there. If you want to look through that little container over there.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, all in there. Just kind of check. Anyhow, might be in one of those tablets. So that's what that is. And then what's kind of fun about these, and you guys know I love calendars. I love calendar stamps because they're so generic and you can use them for so many different things. But this is all just black and white. And then I used one of my colored pencils to outline and then color in the little letters there. So, all right. Let's see. Hi, Puerto Rico. Hi, Wanda. Look at, we've got loads of, hi, Sheila. Hi, Evalicious Crafts. I recognize lots of your names, ladies and men, maybe some men. Okay, so we talked binder clips. We talked about separating our inserts. So let me now clean up again because I need to. What? Okay, so you guys, as Sam's going through the paper, he's like, Mom, I love this one. I like this one a lot. It's really cute. He's going through seeing all kinds of papers. We're going to turn Sam into a scrapbooker one of these days, you guys.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. A crafter. You can be a crafter. All right. So let's see what our next one is. Where'd my list go?
Oh, this one's funny.
It's cute, huh? All right, you guys. So I have misplaced my list. Sammy, will you look? Maybe it went over there. Oh, there it is. All right.
Sorry,
Hi, Michigan. Hi, Susan. Good morning, Shanners. Hi, Oakville, Canada. Lori. Montana. Renee, maybe. Carolyn, I know. Paper junkie. I am too. Tybro Mom, he is. Sam is such an awesome helper. He is a sweetheart. Yes, paper hoarder, Diane. I agree. I agree. Me too. I said hoarder. I better enunciate my words there. All right. So, the next one. All right. So let's talk jump bands. I talked a little bit about jump bands in one of my prior videos, but I want to show you how to make them. So a jump band, and I can't show you what they look like when you buy them pre-made because I am sold out of them. Basically, they are, I'm just trying to see. I have more coming.
Mom, just grab one of your 9 trillion Traveler's notebooks.
Well, I know, but Sam, that's not going to work, sweetie, because...
You gotta have a jump hand in one of them.
I don't. Hey, Peanut Gallery needs to pipe her down a bit there, young man. Okay.
Gonna take a nap, so.
All right, I know. You want to take a nap. He always wants to take a nap. Sam would love 10 holes. I know, right? Okay, so jump bands. Basically, when we have our elastics, so in this Traveler's Notebook, this one has, excuse my little mess over here, 4 elastics, right? And those 4 elastics mean that I can add 4 different inserts. So I could take this little guy, slide it in. My next guy, slide it in. I could get all four, slid in. But then if I want to add more after that, I only have 4 elastics. So that is where a jump band comes into place. So I'll show you how I make them. When I make them, I've taught this in a class before, but this is the kind of thing to me, you guys, we talked about last week, I think, buying pre-shredded cheese or pre-shredded lettuce. Sometimes the convenience sake is just easier. I just have a roll here. This is fabric elastic cord. It is 2 millimeters in width. So that's my stretchy cord, right? And that is basically what this is, right? Same exact kind of stretchy cord. So if I take a piece of my stretchy cord and I want it to be, I don't remember. We're gonna play. I don't remember how long I usually cut these. All right, so I have cut, I'm gonna say that's probably about 12 inches, okay? Then we'll find out if this is too short or not. I mean, it's elastic, so it's definitely gonna stretch. Then I'm going to tie a knot in the end.
Someone in the comments said that they used a hair tie.
A hair tie, right? You could use a hair tie if you get in a bind, right?
That's kind of surprising to me, though, that it stretches that much.
Yeah, Sheila, you can buy that on a roll. I buy it on a roll because when I teach classes and we do this, I need to have a lot. I think in one of my past, maybe last year, bi-monthly Traveler's Notebook kits, I think we did this. So I included this in the kit. So basically, that is a jump band, okay? I can now take 2 inserts. So we'll take this insert and this insert, and I'm going to hold them together like this, okay? I have, make sure you can see that, my, what I'm doing, and that is 2 millimeters, Michelle. Hi, Laquita. There's my friend from Germany. All right, so I have those 2 covers back to back, right? And I open to the center. Then I'm going to take my jump band like that. And now I have joined the 2 together, all right? So now I can take that, because now they're one, and I can slide them into one elastic, right? So they're in one elastic because those 2 I've joined together with a jump band. All right, so that's kind of fun. Makes it super easy. Like I said, I don't carry this on my website. That I probably just found on Amazon a while ago. Obviously, I've used a lot of it for my classes and kits. So that you can find on Amazon, but if you don't want to mess with having that much, and I'm sure like at a Hobby Lobby or something, you could probably find cord like that just by the yard maybe. I think we figured we used about 12 inches, and 12 inches was very generous. So I don't know, you could probably get down to 10 if you wanted. Probably just be something that you mess around with. But I also have those coming, the jump bands, the pre-made jump bands coming back in stock. And anyhow, so there we go. So jump bands. Jump bands are great for being able to add more to your Traveler's Notebook.
I could not find your paper.
Okay, I'll find it later. All right, let's see what else. Oh, good, Lori, I'm so glad you found those stamps. It's funny, I had reached out to Carrie and said, hey, lots of people are asking about Kirsten, it's 2 millimeters. That's the one that I use. It's 2 millimeters, 2 millimeters thick. And that is just premium quality fabric elastic cord. Okay. No, so I had talked to Carrie a while ago when I'd been using the block stamps, and quite a few people were asking me about them because she had sold out. So I said, hey, let me know if you get them back in. And she let me know this week. So I know a few of you were able to take advantage of that. But go out to her website. And one last thing about Carrie, and you guys, she's the sweetest, most wonderful person. If you ever see her stamps, they sell out very quickly. So if you see something, it's one of those, don't think about it, just get it. Okay, so that was our, you know what, I moved out of order here a little bit, so let me just mark off on my list. Oh, I don't know if you guys could hear that. That Poe was, jump bands. What else? Oh, booklets. Okay. All right, so let's talk about, let's go to the next one. The next one. And this I will do depending on what I have going on and what happened. So let's go back to, there's so many inserts, I just can't find what I've done with them. Oh, I know, I jump banded that one together. That's what I want this one again. All right, so the next one. This has to do with, and I'm going to just, for now, so it doesn't move around a bit, close this little guy back up. All right, there we go. Okay, so sometimes out of necessity, but sometimes it's because I want to do something fun with it. I will actually adhere 2 pages in my insert together. So I will email them. Where did I come up with that? I will adhere them together back to back. Tasha's Corner, her IG handle is, if you just look for Carrie Bradford, Kerri, Bradford, Bradford. Yes. And you know what? Tybro Mom, she shared a technique about mixing her stamp sets. Yes. So many great ideas. Even if you don't buy her stamp, she's got a ton of great ideas for stamping. Okay, so let's go back to this one. You guys, we know I squirrel, so it's fun to be able to see the live chat, but then I get squirreled. Hi, Terry. I'm glad you caught me live too. Okay, so what I was saying, sometimes I will adhere 2 pages together. And the reason for that, sometimes I will be working and I will be doing something on my page and I hate it. Now, I've tried to talk and encourage you guys that even if we hate something, it's okay because you can always turn the page and it's just a page in your insert, right? But sometimes I really, really hate it and I really don't want it to be part of my insert. So I will adhere the pages together. And in that case, I could either get out my glue stick like this. Let's adhere these 2 together. So I could get out my little glue stick. And you guys, glue sticks are awesome to use in your traveler's notebooks if you're adhering, especially because they're not going to give you, you're not going to see any see-through. Like sometimes if I'm using this and I do this and I just have my white paper, I might be able to see the little lines or the little, you know what I mean. Okay, so there, I have now adhered back to back. And whatever I didn't like there is now gone. Another nice thing is that if I want something to be a little heavier or a little sturdier, maybe I'm going to do a lot on this page. Maybe I'm going to try to use some watercolor or something like that, and I'm not using watercolor paper or watercolor inserts, then I could adhere those together and it's going to make it a little bit sturdier for me. Thank you, sweetie. Sammy just brought me some iced tea. Because he's such a good kid. He is such a good kid.
I was going to bring you water, but then I saw you had the tea, so I was like,
thank you. Okay, so I'd like to think that I had something to do with that, but actually he was just born with one of those sweet, sweet, kind-hearted spirits, which, glue sticks. Okay, so that's a good question. What do I like to use for a glue stick? And it depends. These, you guys, were amazing. These were made by Prima, Prima. These have been gone for a long time. They don't make them anymore. I just still happen to have them. That's what, that's handy for me because even if I'm traveling, it's kind of skinny and I can throw it in my pencil pouch and be good to go. So that is a good glue stick. Hang on, I'm going to grab some other ones here. And let's see what we have. I'm coming, hang on. This is another one. This is a really big one. And when I say really big, it just has a large surface area. That one I use when I'm working with 6x8 albums for scrapbooking. If I cover the front of the album, I'll use that glue stick just because more surface area. There's also a really small little black one, and it is really portable, and it's made by Tim Holtz. I just don't know where I have those. So I will, when we're done, I will just link to a couple of glue sticks that I use, so you know different options. Let's see, so glue sticks. Okay, so that is one of the reasons. If I make a mistake too, so let's say I'm journaling or writing something, writing a list, and I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, and I really, really mess it up, then I can adhere my pages together as well. Let's see. You know what, Tyboro Mom, that's okay, right? You redid a page in your wedding scrapbook, and you know what? That's okay. We have to do what we have to do, right? All right, so another reason I might actually want to adhere two pages together would be if I want to make a pocket. So, Renee, I do sell the inserts on my website. In the description of the video, I have lots and lots and lots of links to either things that I use and I don't sell, but where you can find them, and then things that I sell on my website as well. So check that out. Okay, so making a pocket. We made a pocket in one of our last classes, and I'm talking slowly because I'm thinking mentally where that is. Oh, right here. Okay, so in this one, we had actually adhered two pieces of scrapbook paper together, but we only adhered along the sides and the bottom. That left this part open, and it turned into a pocket. So that we did by adhering that little pocket insert. That is a tip-in, and we adhered that using washi tape. But I could do the same thing, well, similar thing here with my insert, simply by adding a little bit of adhesive along the bottom and this side. And then, generally, so I know it's a pocket, so I remember it's a pocket, I would grab my little circle punch here and just punch a notch out of the top, and then I have a pocket. So that those are some different tips or examples of when I might want to adhere pages in my insert together. Okay. So that was, you guys, that was the fourth one. So we're 4 in, we have 6 more to go. And some of them get a little bit more involved. So it's really more like 12 or 13 or 14 more to go. Okay, let me quick. Teresa, yes, that's how I adhere the scrapbook paper to my 6x8 chipboard albums. Evalicious Crest, yes. A regular old, good old glue stick works as well. Terry, you're behind. Well, you get, Terry, you get caught up, and it will definitely, hopefully help you get out of your funk. Yes, Michelle, Heidi's paper is amazing. That is, the paper in there is from Heidi Swap. Let's see. Sheila, a treasure trove of goodies and links. Thank you. Pockets were on week 5. Thank you, Lori. Yes, that's when we did that. Look at you guys. Okay, so let's go on to our next one. And our next one, I'm going to circle back to stamping again for a minute. Let's talk about stamping. And some of the things we'll talk about stamping are applicable to any kind of stamping you do, and other things very applicable to stamping in your traveler's notebooks. Now, a little disclaimer. That's the word I'm looking for. Disclaimer. You guys, I am by no means a stamping expert. I am a hack when it comes to stamping. I love, love, love stamping. If you look at any of my traveler's notebooks, you will notice something, one common thread or theme. And that common thread or theme is that I always stamp in black. A couple reasons for that. I like the look of black. It pretty much coordinates with anything that you're working with. But the other reason I stamp in black, and this is kind of the first little tip, is because when you are stamping, if you kind of make a mistake, you can always pull out your favorite little Sharpie pen. Now our little Sharpie, you guys, you know that's what I do all my journaling with, but your Sharpie pen now becomes kind of a dual purpose tool. We can do our journaling, but we can also fill in any part of our stamped image that didn't quite stamp all the way if that bugs you. Sammy.
What would be my best option on a budget, like traveler's notebook?
Luann, if you would do me a favor, go to my website and click contact us and shoot me an email, and then we can have that conversation via email, because that may be a little bit of a back and forth, but I can point you to some videos where you could actually make your own. You can even make your own inserts, so that may be a way to go. But anyhow, shoot me an email from my website and we will go from there. Okay, I'm gonna put these things back away because I'm starting to get distracted. All right, if I missed any others, you guys, well, we'll circle back or ask again. Or you guys also remember in the comments after the video. So normally when you're watching a video, if it's not live, then you can leave a comment. So leave a comment if I forgot. That also reminds me, if you guys like what you're seeing, please give the video a thumbs up. And the comments also are very helpful, because then other people, the way that YouTube works with their algorithm, other people get an opportunity to see that.
Vicky.
Hi, my friend Vicky. You guys, everybody say hi to Vicky. If you don't follow Vicky, you should click, well, when we're done, you can follow her. Not right now. Oh, that's so funny. You follow her whenever you want. But do follow her. Click Vicky. Vicky is a very dear friend of mine. We met through scrapbooking. Oh my gosh, I don't know, 12-ish years ago. But she's an amazing mixed media artist, and she has her own product line through American Crafts, and she is a hoot. You guys, she's a hoot. We are like sisters from another mother.
We like Vicky in our household.
Yes, we do like Vicky in our household, because she comes to visit us often. Well, like once a year. Okay, so stamping.
It's usually around this time too.
It's July. It's usually July, but we don't. It's when the hook is. Yeah, we don't have plans for that this year, unfortunately. We were trying, but okay. So stamping. I have my insert here. Let me move my little tape runner. And
I'm choking on milk right now.
Don't choke on milk, Sammy. All right, I'm gonna get some of my things out here. So I have a stamp set that I'm working with. This one I have available on my website from the Stamp Market. The reason I love this, and you guys, I don't know if I've ever talked to you about this. I have a very interesting mixture of products on my website. Pretty much everything that you see are the things that I love and the things that I use. You see a lot of washi, you see some stamps. But a couple people have asked me, how do you decide what you have on your website for sale? And really, they're just a lot of my favorite things. So, stamps. I have not used the stamp set yet. It is brand new. So, what I like to do before I start stamping, well, really start stamping on something that I, want to make sure is going to, let's see. Let's use this one. I like this little one. Is it going to fit? Nope. Okay, we won't use that one right now because I don't want to get another stamping block out yet. Let's use the number 1 because I'm actually going to end up making a list at some point about all of this. So there's my one. This little stamping block I'm using, I like because it has the grids on it, and that helps me to line things up. So when I am ready to stamp, I will take my stamp and I'll take a piece of scratch paper, and this is, see, this is my piece of scratch paper that I just have in my stamping drawer, and I just do pretty much all of my, well, until it gets full and I can't see anymore. I'll do it on here though, so you guys can see what's going on. I am inking that up, and when I stamp that, it actually is a pretty good impression there. But when I stamped it the first time over here, see how it's really blotchy? I always like to prime my stamps first before I use them. So when I say prime, load it up with some ink and on a piece of scratch paper and make sure that it is primed and ready to go. All right, so that's your first little stamping tip. Prime and just keep your little piece of scratch paper handy.
Mom, next Saturday we gotta do this in the kitchen.
In the kitchen, why?
My arm hurts.
It hurts?
And I'm gonna stand here.
Okay, well, you guys hang on one sec. Did you take any?
Yes,
You did? Okay. Just rest it on.
It hurts to have it that high.
Oh, okay.
That's my issue.
Okay.
So.
Do you need to go get a pillow to like? Go get a pillow and try it. Okay.
It's a good
All
idea.
right.
That's a good mom idea.
I know. See, moms are smart, huh, Sammy? I get a high five from Sam. All right. Sorry for that. He is. I know, Vic. He's on a chair. But it's anyhow. Okay. So stamping. We primed. When we are stamping in our traveler's notebook, we already talked about if we have removed our staples, it makes it a lot easier to do. But that doesn't always happen, right? So let's take a look at this guy. This one right here, actually, I'll show you with, oh, yeah, this one. So this is my second traveler's notebook that I'm working on, and it's getting close, you guys. It's getting close to being full. When I am stamping, oh, like right here. So as my traveler's notebook gets fuller and fuller, it starts getting bulky, right? Because I have adhered different things. Sometimes I might have adhered a card. And if I'm trying to stamp on the back side of this and my card is, you know, on the back side, then when I stamp, it might break up my stamp image, if that makes sense. That is where I will pull in something like this. Now, I have linked this in the description. I am interesting. I had purchased these. I think there's a set of these gridded stamping blocks. So similar to this, just different size, right, with the grid. There are 9 little blocks, or they're about, I don't know, maybe an 1/8 inch thick. There are 9 of these that are different sizes. So I use these sometimes for my stamping blocks, but I also use them for this. If I am stamping on this page, and this is what I did, if I would take my block and I would put that underneath like that, right? Because that now I have a very flat surface for my stamping. I saw, you guys, I saw somebody do this a couple of years ago, and I thought it was genius. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have these. Which, you guys, is that not the best feeling? When you see somebody do something and you're like, oh, I think I have that. I can do that. So that worked really well. You don't have to buy that if you don't already have that. If you would use that for other things, then you can. But something.
So what is that, Mom?
Oh, that is. These are stamping blocks. There is a set of 9 of them, and I have linked to them in the description of the video. So you'll find a link for that. But if you don't have something like this, and this worked for me because obviously I already had it, but if you need stamping blocks, and then you can also dual purpose for something like this. So somebody just asked, Christine, why wouldn't I use my MISTI for all of my stamping? And that's a great question, because it is, if I haven't separated, if I haven't removed my staples like I haven't here, it's really hard to get that page into my MISTI, right? So that is why if I'm working with a book like this, I don't use my MISTI. If I have one of my inserts like this that I have already kind of taken the staples out of, then I would absolutely use my MISTI. Okay, yes, we were talking about this. Now, this is interesting. This is really, you guys, honestly, one of the very first times that I used colored stamping ink. And this is where my type A personality just had to kind of let things go, right? Because sometimes when you're stamping, you don't get a nice, clean impression.
The moth stamp.
Yes, the shiny Pumpkaboo.
Pumpkaboo.
Pumpkaboo. Yes, that's a Carrie Bradford stamp as well. I think she might still have those, because when I posted this the other day on Instagram, someone asked about those stamps and I told her what they were, and then she was able to find them. Let me just pull that out really quick. And okay, you guys, this is, remember I told you how much I love Carrie's stamps? This is not even all of them. I think I mentioned on last week's video that I will, one of the next some point videos, I'm going to start doing a video series on how I store and organize all of the things. And so this is how I store.
Show everyone how you organize.
Oh,
your
you
things.
guys, Sam did that air quotes with the organize.
Mom,
yeah.
I think we should show them the whale by mail room.
The whale by mail room. Yeah, that's an ever evolving,
It is
constantly getting organized.
You have it pretty organized.
One time we'll do a behind the scenes.
Mom, I honestly think it's better than up here.
Okay. All right. Anyhow.
Honestly, because I know where stuff is down there.
Okay. Yes. Okay. I've missed all different kinds of things. Oh, okay. Here we go.
Oh, Grammy's on.
Hi, Mom. You guys, Karen Warren. That is my mom joining us again. Thanks, Mom. And happy early Mother's Day, Mom. Okay, so these are the stamps that I use. They're called A Big Month, and they are awesome. I use those a lot. You guys, Carrie's a friend, and I don't make anything from talking about her stamps. I just love her stamps and think they're awesome, and she's an amazing person. So there you go.
Mom, what are your favorite ink pads?
My favorite ink pads. Oh, you know what? I am not a good one to ask that question. Gabrielle, shout you out. I shouted you out.
Hey, Vicky, what's your favorite ink pad? Because you're in the comments.
I know, right? Exactly. I was going to say Vicky would have some great suggestions. I will tell you one though. This one, you guys, the Ranger Archival ink, the jet black, and I have linked this one in the video description as well. This is definitely my favorite black ink, and I have played around with lots of black inks because mostly that is what I'm using. So Vicky said Gina K Designs. Yeah, those are great. I actually haven't used them, but I think they're on my list of things that I would like to purchase. So Gina K, that's a great, hi Carrie. Oh, sweetie, I love you. You guys all say hi to Carrie Bradford. I just love her. She's just such an awesome, down-to-earth, wonderful person. And I don't think that we hadn't talked about you coming on. So I'm very excited that you're joining us. All right. So somebody just asked, I think, and I want to circle back. I think somebody had asked about this timeline. Persnicketyprints.com, they have provided free downloads for the timelines. They started in January and they are through April, and they are going to be continuing them. So
everyone's very excited that Carrie's
I
on.
know, right? We're so excited. Carrie's here. Okay. So you guys, the squirrel is here with us very much today. I think the squirrel's pretty much here every day in my life.
Just about.
Yay, Carrie! Okay. Oh, I know. So we were talking about this little guy and why we might want to use this or something like this. I could probably take, maybe, I don't know, I've never tried this, so this is one of those things that could backfire. I could maybe take another insert and stamp on that. Yeah, you know what? I bet that would work. As long as I would have to be careful just to make sure that it didn't bleed through.
There's some pretty good comments.
Oh, there's some good comments?
Susie's going pour from you and
Oh,
Carrie.
Susie! I'm sorry. Definitely an enabler. Let's see. Top ramen is good. Oh, goodness. All right. So let me show you guys how that works. So I'm going to take this little guy and I am going to come in. Let's see. Actually, I'm not going to stamp in here because I pretty much have everything all worked out on what I want to do. Let's go to this guy. And it's not bulky yet, but I do want to show, actually, let me bring that back really quick. Thank you, Sam.
I wanted to see that picture.
I know, you can see it. Oh, Carrie, A Big Month is discontinued, but there are some new ones coming soon. Oh, can't wait. You guys, yeah, I am a frequent shopper with Miss Carrie. All right, so actually, I want my other one.
Can I?
Yes, you may see that, Sam. All right, you guys, hang tight one sec. I gotta grab one more thing.
There's when I did my mullet. That was also on a Tuesday. That was on the 14th.
I know. All right, so let's look at this guy. So this guy is really chunky. This is my first Coronavirus Traveler's Notebook. This I have filmed a flip through, and it's on here on my YouTube page. But when things start to get really bulky like this, and if I wanted to stamp, let's say I wanted to stamp right here, it is going to start to get hard for me to stamp. But if I use a little block like that, it just gives me a much more even surface to work on. So if I get that out of the way and I want to stamp right here, I would just slide that underneath there and come back to this. Stamp that up.
That's a good picture, Mom.
Oh, guess what I did? Well, that's an example of what you don't want to do because my little guy was not far enough out. If I was using the Misty, then I would just restamp again and I would be okay. But let's pretend like I wanted to do that because remember when I said sometimes when things didn't quite work out, I would fill it in with the Sharpie. So I would come here and just kind of go right down like that. And I would color that in. And you know what? You'd probably never even know that I did that if you weren't watching because I do that all the time. All right, so that's one of the reasons why I like to use black ink because I can fix things. Yes, sweetie? Yeah. Yes, question?
High five.
Oh, high five. I thought you were saying there was a question.
Dang it, Mom.
All right, okay, so there, right? And I have a nice even surface that I could just, you know, play with. All right, so let me just double check my notes. Stamping. Yeah, that's it for stamping. Oh, except try not to get the ink on your fingers because then it will get everywhere. And always clean off your stamp, right? You could use a little chamois, a stamp chamois, or baby wipe sometimes, a little bit of a wet paper towel, but I will also do that. I'm not very good about cleaning my stamps, so
well, it's 'cause you have the stamp plug.
I just stamp, you know, a couple times
But Mom,
to get it off, and then
I
I might clean it,
got the stamp
but
plug,
not right
Mom.
now. Okay. All right, so let me clean up, you guys. We got to get cleaned up or else
She turns into the big squirrel.
I turn into a big squirrel. I know, it's too hard to focus. All right, I am going to... After we're done today, you guys, I'm going to make another list, and my list is going to be the top 10 techniques that I'm sharing, and I'm going to kind of use some of these things that we talked about in class. All right, so there we go. Let's get this put away. Okay, next one. All right, the next one. This is another fun one. This is another kind of fun DIY, and this is making your own pen loop. Penloop. Not Penelope, pen loop. I shared these in a past video. Oh, that would be fun, Karen, right? This one? A fun little Project Life card. That would be really fun, wouldn't it? Okay. Oh, the Brooklyn outline. I know, Ray, that Brooklyn outline. It's hard to know which one of Carrie's stamps are my favorite. There's lots of them. All right, so pen loop. We talked about pen loops in a past video. And what a pen loop does for us is this. So this is one of my inserts. And I had taken that pen loop. That pen loop is just kind of a leather-ish with elastic. There is a super, 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 super sticky on the back. I can pull that off. And then I can adhere that to my insert. That means in my traveler's notebook, I have a pen and a pencil. I like to use pencils in my traveler's notebook. So that's a really fun, cute mechanical pencil. I think I still have those on my website, those mechanical pencils.
Hey, Mom.
Yes, sweetie?
Don't you have a link for that pink pen caddy in your...
This?
Yes.
This? Danielle, this pen tool caddy is called a Stash and Store. And yes, it is on my website. And there are, I think, 6 or 7 different colors that I have. But I love that because you can see it's right there and it keeps all the things organized. Okay, our pen loop. So our pen loop holder, that super handy. So I can, also have a pencil in my traveler's notebook if I like. But the other thing that makes it really handy is, so maybe I don't want to take my entire traveler's notebook somewhere with me, right? Maybe I just want to take my insert. One of the questions that came up in like the very first or maybe even second video, somebody asked, what if you have made your traveler's notebook insert or your traveler's notebook all cute and all decorative, but maybe you have to go into a business meeting and you don't necessarily want to, let the world know that you like to play with stickers and have fun. So I suggested, well, that would be an example where you might want to just take the insert out and then, take that in with you, especially if we are slip covering our inserts, right? So maybe I went into a meeting and I didn't want them to see this. All I have to do is remove my little slip cover and then I could take that in with me and then it just looks like a regular old notebook. If you missed the video about slip covering inserts, that is part of video 2. So when I have my pen loop there, I still have my writing device with me. All right, and that I think I shared too. I use those on all different kinds of things. So it doesn't even have to be a traveler's notebook insert. This is a really large notebook that I use, and I even included that little pen loop there. So I always have my pen with me when I need it. All right, so I have the pen loops on my website. Those are pre-made, but we can also make them ourselves. So we're going to talk about how you would make them. And these are super easy to make, and they're fun to make.
Mom,
yes.
comment,
yeah.
Question.
Okay.
By Sue Burke.
Sue, yes. So yeah, I know those little nails. I just put on new ones this morning. I think what is happening is that the red aspen place that has the nails, I think that they are probably experiencing a very, very high demand. And I don't sell them, but I think they're probably experiencing very high demand because we're not able to go out and have our nails done.
Salons are open now.
Well, not in all parts of the world, Sam.
In Utah, they're open.
Well, in Utah, but I'm not going
Okay.
because I don't feel comfortable with it yet.
What if I said, let's go get a mani-pedi? Would you go
No,
there?
I would not. Oh, yes, Sam likes to have. I made the mistake one time of introducing Sam to pedicures. He likes that. But no polish, huh?
No.
So, but sometimes you put weird polish on, or one of your friends that is a girl puts weird polish on. Okay. Oh, you guys, big squirrel moment there. So, I know what I was going to say. So, I think what happens is they sell out and then they bring them back in and then they sell out and bring them back in. So those, just watch for them. Those are not a petite. I think they're called a short or something like that. Okay. So pen loops. Let's talk about how we can make our own. So there are a couple of things that you need if you're going to make your own pen loop. One of them, Sam, will you get me a paper? Oh, no, it's okay. We'll use this. I just don't want to drip the adhesive on my work surface. So
do you want? I can go get you.
It's okay. So this right here, this is an example of a DIY pen loop. Okay, I have a little gold binder clip, and I have elastic ribbon. Okay,
it's totes adorbs.
It's totes adorbs, isn't it, Sam? All right. So I can take one of my pens, and because my little binder clip here, this one has a little tiny bit of an indent in it. This larger one has a little bit more of an indent in it. I can slide my pen right through that little elastic. So that's elastic ribbon. And it just sits in there perfectly. So I can then take my little homemade DIY binder clip there, my homemade DIY pen loop, and I could come in here and slide it onto my inserts. Now I could slide it on the back cover if I wanted to. I just didn't want to get in the way of that one.
Does the metal scratch your pen?
Well, that's a good question. It hasn't. It hasn't. That one is, yeah, that one's metal too. So,
I don't think they make binder clips out of plastic.
Yeah, they probably don't because they need to be metal. Because if they were plastic, they would get all funny, huh?
If your ones that have the weird loop in them, Would be really good.
I don't
for
know
it.
what you're talking about. Okay, anyhow, so sorry, we had a little sidebar there. I have attached that to the side of my insert. I slide that in right there. I put that really low. But anyhow, now I have my own homemade pen loop. So how we make those? Let's take this little guy back off. Move that off to the side. I have different binder clips. So the little gold ones I have linked, the little gold ones I just buy on Amazon. I have linked to them in the description of the video. When I am doing these in kits and classes, usually I'll just do these little regular kind of binder clips just because those are easier to come by kind of, and they're a little bit less expensive. So whatever you want to do, if you want gold or you want, black or silver or what have you, there's probably all different kinds of colors. In fact, I know there's colored ones because somewhere, well, I don't know, somebody has made me, my friend Amy, made me a couple of these too with colored binder clips. So I just pulled out a couple of my colored binder clips, and then there's another one that I had made with a.
Hey, Mom, where do you get the elastic for the pen?
Okay, hang on one sec. We'll get there. That's another one that I had made. So we first start out with our binder clips. The next thing is the elastic, the stretchy elastic ribbon. I have lots and lots and lots. Well, not lots and lots. I guess I have 9 or 10 here. These are all different patterns of stretchy elastic ribbon, and I buy these at Hobby Lobby. Before we started the video, I did a quick check online at Hobby Lobby, and I didn't find stretchy elastic ribbon. But if you have a Hobby Lobby, or if you have a Joann's, if you have a local craft store, you can find it. So interestingly enough, you guys, I'm going to cut this really quick, and I'm going to show you something and see if this looks familiar to anyone. What?
Do you use a booklet stapler for making your wife's own inserts or putting them back together?
So do I use a booklet stapler? If you go to video number 6, so video number 6 here on my YouTube channel, we made our own inserts. So that will give you step-by-step and all the different tools I make and things, tools that I use to make the inserts. All right, so let's see. Does this look familiar to anyone? If you have daughters maybe, or if you have long hair and you like to put your hair in a ponytail, right? Those are like the elastic bands that you buy that you then put your hair in a ponytail with. And these are, I like these to put my hair in a ponytail because they don't rip your hair like traditional elastics do, right? So that I think is why you see lots of different colors and patterns, because people are crafting and making their own hair ties. But we are not going to use them for hair ties. We are going to use that for our pen loops. So I think I want to say, now obviously the size pen that you are going to be sliding into your DIY pen loop holder will kind of dictate how much elastic that you want to use. So this one, that has a smaller barrel than this pen, and they both fit in there fine. You just want to make sure that you're going to be snug enough so that if you have something really small, that it doesn't fall through. Let's see, even that guy actually. So those are 3 different widths. Those are all pretty good. And I think what I want to say is, I think that was 1 inch. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've made these. Let me cut this little guy off. So we want to have straight edges, and inch. Oh. Let's see. Haha, definitely not 1 inch. You guys, I guess I could have just done this in the first place, right? Let me do this. Let me measure, and then I will tell you. Maybe 1.5 inches.
1 3/4 inches.
So clearly I do prep work, but not all the prep work because I didn't get that figured out ahead of time. All right, so that is 1 inch and 3/4. Yep, so about 1 inch and 3/4 is what I used on that one. So this, I have only used this adhesive to make these. You could probably use a hot glue gun, I imagine that would work. I'm using an adhesive called E6000. So E6000. Oh, Joanne, you found it on Amazon. Oh, good. Okay. When we're done, I'll do a little bit of searching for elastic ribbon and see if I can help you guys find it, or you guys can search for it. E6000. So E6000 is a super, super, super strong adhesive. It works great on, I know, Sue, measure twice, cut once, right? It works great on metal. It works great on wood. It works great on glass. We definitely want to use a stronger adhesive, because if you think that we are going to be storing a pen in here, that is going to put kind of a lot of stretch on that ribbon, and we want to make sure that that's not going to fly off, because we don't want to lose our pen, right? How sad would that be if we lost our pen? So I used to buy, I still have them, the E6000 in these really big tubes. If you use E6000 a lot, then having large tubes is not a bad thing. But what starts to happen, even when you clean it up, they just kind of start to get messy, and that's kind of gunked up. If I'm only using my E6000 for little clips like this, I probably don't want to buy a big tube. The other thing that happens is, like this guy, sometimes their caps will get stuck. This little one has a better applicator, if you will. Nozzle, thank you, than this one. I mean, at least for what I would use them for. Maybe if you're gluing
good
glass.
I put Vaseline around the top before.
Oh, I love that. Okay, you guys, put Vaseline around the top. Who said that? Mostly Mandy. That is genius. Vaseline around the top before you recap it so that it doesn't stick. Because it will, we talked about, it is strong adhesive, right, you guys? So it's going to adhere itself together. In fact, you can see where I've had to take pliers sometimes to try to get it off. So anyhow, these little tubes, you can also buy the little tubes, and I think there's 4 little tubes to a package. I also linked E6000 in the description to Amazon. So if you're not able to shop right now, or you can't get out and shop, then those little tubes you can find on Amazon, the big ones too. All right, so we want to take a little bit, right? This is an example. Let's see. I did not even try to squeeze this before we started.
On glue sticks, I found one on Amazon that's awesome. I think it comes in 2 sizes. I am a consumer, not selling anything. Do a search for the Coyote Square Glue Stick Glue GLO size S5 sticks.
Oh, I love that. So Wordfish, looks like she may have found some good glue sticks on Amazon, so you guys can take a look at that. And I appreciate you saying I am a consumer, I'm not selling anything. It's funny, I have nothing against MLMs, multi-level marketing things at all, but I had reached out to a friend of mine that has kind of started her own, you know what, I'll just show you. Where'd it go? It is, this one. So she is Whimsy Fox Crafts on Instagram, and she makes, she's got all kinds of things, but these super cute little machine stitched tabs in these little felt hearts. So I placed a good size order from her, and I actually reached out to her and said, hey, I've learned so many things the last year of, kind of having my own online business, and I've had some amazing people that have reached out to me and offered to share some things. So I said, I'd be more than happy just to kind of pass on the good vibes and the karma, and share some things with you if you'd like. And then right after that, I said, because I was messaging with her on Instagram, and I said, nothing, no, I'm not selling anything. There's no multi-level marketing I'm trying to get you involved in here. So that was just kind of funny. Total segue. All right, now it is flowing, and it is really flowing. So I am going to take a little bit of, you don't need a lot, right? So I am just kind of lightly coating that. See if you can see that. I know you guys can see it, but I'm a little bit delayed, so I'm not seeing it yet, but we'll just have to pretend like we can. Oop, okay. So, Sammy, will you, this is a mess. This is why I wanted to have a paper towel or scratch pad or something out, because
do you need a paper towel?
No, it's okay. It will make a mess, and you want to make sure to recap that, because I had been squeezing it. It had kind of started oozing. All right, so yeah. Oh, yeah, just throw it in the garbage. Careful, sweetie. All right, that's the right one. That's my 1 3/4. So now I'm going to take one end and I am going to press it down. Sorry for Sam's. Sam, you can go in the other room, sweetie, if you want to go lay down.
It's okay.
Okay. I mean, you know you can. I'm not a mean mom. Well, sometimes I'm mean mom, but not right
You're
now.
always mean, Mom.
No, I'm not. Whatever. Okay. So I stuck that down, and then I'm going to come back here because I'm trying to do this without getting the E6000 all over me. Heavens. Dee, dee, dee. All right, and then I will stick that down. All right, so I would say you probably, I mean, it will dry fairly quickly, but I would let that dry for 24 hours. Man, just set them aside. If you want to make a bunch of them, set them aside, let them dry. And because you want to make sure that when you put your pen in there, it's not going to pop off, okay? All right, Terry, you better get busy. Thanks for joining, hon. Oh, Vicky, mountain bike accident. He, partial separation of his shoulder. All right, so there's a little homemade DIY pen loop. Super easy and fun, and depending on where you're finding your elastic, I mean, these, like this one, so fun for Christmas. That gingham, that's really fun. Anyhow, those I all just found at Hobby Lobby, and they are obviously in the spooled ribbon section. Ooh, mess. Okay, hang on. We need to clean up. And you can also make hair ties if you need. And I will tell you, you guys, well, and I'm not plugging Hobby Lobby. That just happens to be where I buy them. $2.99 a roll, 4 yards. Their ribbon goes on sale quite a bit. A lot of times half off, so you could get $1.50 for a roll of 4 yards. Now, if you have other friends that are crafters with you, you guys, everybody buy a roll and, you know, give everybody a yard or whatever. So then you can have lots and lots of different, little different colored elastics. Okay, I need to have a sip of my iced tea real quick, so hang on. Hi, Tina Ann. Good morning from Avon, Indiana. Okay, pen loop. Thinking about using that for charms and other pretties. Oh, yeah. Okay, this wasn't on our list, but it just made me think of something. So I'm just going to pull a few things out to show you guys. No, I'm going to save that for another video. I'm going to have to, you guys, I'm really going to be racking my brain when we get to week 2,830 of our free classes. So let me make a little thing here. Okay. Okie dokes. Okay. Our next one. Oh, we need the list again. So we did stamping, we did pen loops. Oh, I know. So we're going to talk about letter stickers now. And using letter stickers in your traveler's notebooks. I use letter stickers a lot for my titles. Ooh, Vicky, you broke your humerus. That's a big one. Okay. Where did my stickers go? They fell on the floor. Okay. I've pulled out one of my alphabet sticker tablets. These I have linked to on my website as well. Someone just texted me. Sorry, I got totally distracted there. Vicky, you ordered Carrie stamps. You will love them. Okay, so anyhow, the alphabet sticker pads, and I just brought a new color in too. So bolds are now there. You done? Thank you, sweetie. Okay, Sammy's gonna depart. Say goodbye, Sammy.
Adios.
Thanks, sweetie. Thank you. Okay, so alpha stickers, and let's find our. We need this one that we've been playing in, and we also need this one. So let me find it. When we did last week, if you watched last week's video, this was the list of things that make me happy. And I will finish this guy up. But I used letter stickers for the title, right? So let's talk about using letter stickers. And there are a couple of different tricks when you are using letter stickers. And this applies to whether you are doing it in your traveler's notebook, whether it's a card you're making, whether it's a scrapbook page in your planner, whatever it is. All of these same tricks will apply. So the first trick, whenever I am working with my letter stickers, I use these. You can hardly even tell what these are anymore. These are a very well-loved pair of tweezers. These are on their way to me. I think I should have them probably in the next week or two, and then I'll be having them available on my website. But what's so awesome about these tweezers is when you squeeze them here, they open, right? So most tweezers, when you squeeze, they close. But these, when you squeeze, they open. So you have a really, really nice tight grip right there. And I use these guys when I am working with any sticker, because it just makes it really easy for me to get them off the sheet. So let's spell, okay, geez, it shouldn't be that hard, right? Let's spell happy. So I have my little sticker, I just pull it off, and then I can place it right there super easily. So H, A, P, P. So I grabbed both of those at the same time. I wanted to do that. H, A, P, P. And then the Y. You guys hang on one sec. I need to, I just have a neighbor that had surgery that she has texted me quite a few times and needs help, and now she is calling me. So really quick, I'm going to grab my laptop and just text her back. So bear with me for one sec. Hang on. Oh, shoot. Come on. I'm still here, you guys. Just hang on. Have fun in the chat. Someone can tell a joke. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, gotcha. We're good. Thanks for letting me do that. Okay, I'm back. Okay. What did the bison say to his son when he left for college? Answer, bison. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Teresa, this is funny. It's kind of like you're telling us a joke. What is the Carrie Bradford stamp called? That would be funny. I know you're not asking a joke. I know you're not telling a joke, and I'm not sure which stamp you are referring to. So if you want to shoot me an email, go to my website and click on contact us, and then email me, and then I'll help you figure out which one it is. Okay, so stickers. Using those little guys, super helpful. The next tip on stickers is, and I did that on this one, is to, well, there's really two different ways that you can place stickers when you are trying to decide where you want to start. The first way is to start from the center and then work your way out, because then you kind of be assured that you are in the center. So if I was spelling happy here, like I did, Happy, actually I don't want to do that because that's going to be confusing because I did something different there. All right, so let's just do this. Let's spell mom. Let me move this over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Actually, I don't want the O because I'm going to start in the center. So if I was making a card or I was writing a list about the things I love about my mom, I would start in the center. So I would put my O in the center. And this you know, the longer your words are, the more this really comes in handy. I would put my O in the center, and then I would put my M's on either side. Uh-oh. So there I have, it's pretty centered, right? So that is one way to try to make sure that your titles are somewhat centered. Now, when I'm working with an insert that has lines, that also makes it easier, right? Because I have lines and it'll at least make sure I get things semi-straight. Okay, so there I get it centered. But when I'm doing something like this and I want my title, in this case, to be right justified, if I start in the center, that's not really going to work. So what I do is I spell backwards, okay? I start at the end and then I spell backwards, and that makes sure that I have enough room. If I don't do that, I start with my H and I don't leave myself enough room, and then I end up with hap because I didn't leave myself enough room for all the stickers. So spelling backwards with your stickers is, that's what I do. All right, so those are two more little tricks with our stickers. The last one I want to show you is using a ruler. So I'm going to spell, let's spell dad, because poor dad doesn't get as much attention as mom does. You guys, so this is very sad. I mentioned at the beginning of class that we'd had quite the week at the household, at the Concar household, with Sam's accident earlier in the week. And then my stepmom, my dad's wife, passed away yesterday morning, and not from the coronavirus, but just passed away. So that was, we've had quite the week here, you guys. And of course it's, you know, the coronavirus on top of everything. But so now we're, well, anyhow. So I am spelling dad, and I'm going to get that little center out because I don't like the centers to be there. My hands are so sticky right now because I wasn't very careful with the E6000. All right, so do you see what I'm doing? I am using my ruler, and I just like to use this little ruler. Sheila, thank you. You guys, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, my poor dad. I'm worried about him. He lives out of state too, so it's, you know, it's planning, it's just hard, especially with the coronavirus right now. All right, so D-A and then another D. So I am going to grab my little D here. All right, so I have it all lined up on my ruler. And I think I said I just use this little ruler because when I'm working in my traveler's notebooks, it's a lot smaller, so it's a little bit easier to work with. If you're doing this on a scrapbook page, like a 12 by 12 page, and maybe you have a really long title with multiple words and you want to have your spacing and everything, you could use one of your longer rulers. But I put my stickers on here for whatever word I want to spell. Let's get this out of the way. And I can decide wherever I want it. So maybe I want it to go right here. And then I can just put my finger right there, so I'm holding those stickers down, and I can very gently peel my ruler away. And then I have my perfectly centered, perfectly spaced title. And that's a little bit easier to do than on a piece of paper, because if you don't get them maybe spaced the way you want them, it's a little bit harder to pick up. I mean, I can-ish. Yeah. I really pressed that down. So I can pick that back up if I need to, but now my sticker is going to lose a little bit of shape. So trying to replace, yeah, obviously that doesn't work very well. So anyhow, there we go. Those are our 3 little tips with when working with alpha stickers. So our little reverse tweezers, spell from the end backwards like we did on our happy layout, or happy spread, or start at the center and work your way out on either side. Okay, next one. All right, next one. This is one that I love because I have a lot of this, and lots of us have a lot of this, and that is scrapbook paper. I have a lot of scrapbook paper, you guys. I know lots of you do too. I've been scrapbooking for 22 plus years when I was pregnant with Jack, our first son, and he is now past 22. So I have tons of scrapbook paper, and sometimes we just don't know what to do with it, right? Or if you're not a scrapbooker and you see all this beautiful pattern paper and you think, my gosh, I would love to use that, but I don't really scrapbook. What can I use it for? I use pattern paper in my traveler's notebooks all of the time. And I do that for a couple of different reasons. So we'll talk about some of the different things that I do with them. One of the very first things that I do is slip covering. And that is pretty much, you guys, I do that with pretty much all of my insert covers, right? So sometimes you can buy decorative inserts like this. Sometimes you buy plain inserts like this. I like to change my, my insert covers when I redecorate my traveler's notebook every month. And this is part of the my traveler's notebook kit for May and June. But what I do is, this is obviously very specific. Well, it's not specific to May, but it's very flowery. And when December rolls around, I might not want flowery in my traveler's notebook. I might want Christmas. So what I do is I will slip cover my inserts. I can always redecorate the pockets. That's easy, right? But if I take my pattern paper, my scrapbook paper, and I glue it to the top of my insert, well, if I'm still using this in December and now it has flowers already all over it, and I want to have reindeer on it, then it's a little bit harder if I glued it. So that's where we do our slip covers. And I covered the slip covering in the second video. Now this one is a little bit different because what I did here, normally I'll just take a piece of 12 by 12 paper and cut it down. Well, not that one either. Normally I'll just take a 12 by 12 piece of scrapbook paper. Here we go. And I will cut it down and use washi to temporarily adhere it. This one though, what I did, this piece of paper, that rose, I loved this flower, and it was situated, I think, on the lower left corner. So I couldn't wrap it. If I wrapped it, then this would be on the back side, and I don't want it on the back, I want it on the front. So I used a plain piece of white cardstock to slip cover, and then I cut out that pattern right there, and then put it on top of the white paper. So sometimes if you're looking at any of your pattern paper and you think that it won't work for one of your slip covers, well, cut part of the paper out that you like and then slip cover with something else. So that's one of the big uses that I use scrapbook paper for in my traveler's notebooks, is for the slip covers, so that they can be very decorative. The other thing, well, one of the other things that I can do, and this will go back to when we glued, let's see, where did we do that? Oh, when we glued these two pages together. Remember when we got our glue stick because we said we didn't like what happened here? We kind of messed up and we didn't like it, so we wanted to glue it together. I glued the two pages together to cover up what I didn't like. Well, I could also do that with a piece of scrapbook paper. So, where did that go? I had them. Oh, I know. Okay. Right here. So I had just pre-cut a piece of scrapbook paper, and if I kind of messed up there and I didn't like that, then I would just go ahead and adhere that right to the page. Now, when I did that, I would either use my glue stick or I could use a little bit of tape runner. And then after I adhered it to the page, because this is what I like to do, I would also round the corners. So I can use my scrapbook paper to cover up something that I didn't like, for a mistake I made. Another tip that you can do, if you have some traveler's notebook inserts that maybe you aren't using anymore. So an example of that, and let's see, what did I do with it? Oh, perfect. All right, an example of that. So when I was working at Simple Stories, I was using daily inserts, because in my daily inserts, I was writing a lot. We were having meetings, and these are all the things I needed to do and all of that. I don't use a daily insert anymore, because now that I have my own business, it just does not apply to me anymore. But if I wanted, I could actually do two different things with this insert. I could use it as is and just cover, if I wanted, every page with my pattern paper. So I could really reuse this if I wanted. The other thing I could do, if I had extra dailies, and I don't use dailies anymore, so if I had extra dailies that were blank, I'd never use them. I don't remember now what I did with that. I had a blank one. Anyhow, I could use one that was blank that I just wouldn't use anymore. So that would be another way to make use of an insert that I might not have a use for anymore. The other thing that I can do with my pattern paper, and this is, I'm going to jump back to the decorative example again really quick. Where, you guys, if you could see, there's inserts and traveler's notebooks and lots of things everywhere, but there's a specific one that I want to show you. Okay, where did it go? It was one of the coronavirus ones that I'm working on. This is one I wish my little Sammy was here, because he would help me figure out what I did with that. All right, now I'm looking all around. Hang on. You guys, this room is not that big, and I haven't ventured too far away. I had the perfect example to show you. I know what's going to happen, right? What happens in something like this? We'll end the video, and I'll be like, duh, there it was, sitting in front of me the whole time. All right, let me see if I did it in here. In this one. Oh, gosh. Seriously, Lael? It was sitting there the whole time. Remember when we looked at this? It's this one. I just wasn't realizing what I was looking at. All right. So in this, let's see where it is. Oh, here. So here I've used pattern paper, or in this case, just scrapbook paper that is colored, but I used it to really kind of make a scrapbook layout. So I used it as a base for my design. I even still kept the white border because I liked the white border around the pages, but that's kind of another decorative way to use our scrapbook paper. All right, the last way that I want to show you. This one, you guys, if you've watched any of the videos, you have seen this lots of times. This is my big old chunky traveler's notebook that has my lists in it when I was doing the Lister's Got a List challenge, or whatever it was that Corey Speaker, the Reset Girl, had started. I mean, this is 5 years ago. So I had made tons of lists. I don't think I included the link to this. A lot of you asked to see this. I have a flip through video here on YouTube, so I will link it in the description when we're done. This goes back to 2015, so 5 years. But anyhow, her Lister's Got a List challenge, she gave different prompts every month. So kind of like last week when we did, when we were doing our list, and one of the prompts that I did, we did, things that make me happy. So that was just, well, anyway, we saw that. Hang on, gotta take a drink. Okay. So when I was doing Lister's Got a List, and this is what's so funny, you guys. Back then when I was doing this, I've since added the cover, but I didn't even know what a traveler's notebook was. When I saw her talking about Lister's Got a List, I said, oh, I need some kind of notebook. And in my stash of things, a lot of times we have stashes of things that we've bought and we don't really know why. And then one day we're like, oh, I think I could use it for that. That is what I use these for. These are inserts from Moleskine, Moleskin. These Skine, there's an E on the end. They are the same size, the standard wide that you see me use all the time, and I love that standard wide. And these are red, you can find these everywhere. And so I happen to have some, and I thought this will be great to do my lists in. And I started working, and I got a few pages in, and I went, oh, well, there's a downside to using these. There are a ton of pages, but the pages are super thin, like almost like copy paper thin. They're super thin. So I started thinking, you know what? When I am writing on a page, let's see if I can show you an example. When I am writing on a page, okay, like this one. So I wrote this list, and I used my black Sharpie pen that I always use, and the pages were so thin that actually that is not the case. I wrote on a piece of cream paper here that has a design. So let's look at this one. Here we go. So this one I wrote directly on the page, and when I turned it over to do my next list, the writing had bled through. So I had a lot of shadowing, a lot of ghosting with my pen, so you could see it. So that's when I thought, well, I'm just going to grab scrapbook paper, and then I will build my list on top of scrapbook paper for my next list. So that would be kind of your another idea. I won't say the last one because I'm sure there are tons of other things we could do with scrapbook paper. Actually, we're going to do one of them in the next one too, in our next tip. Anyhow, so I can use it to be decorative, but I can also serve a purpose by covering up our ghosting or our shadowing. Okay, how are we doing, you guys? That's 8. We have 11:40. Oh my gosh, we're an hour and 40 minutes in. You guys, I had no idea. I'm like, okay, I better make sure I have enough content so, this lasts more than a half an hour. Yeah. Well, you guys know by now, if you need to go do something else, well, then you go do something else. And obviously, when the videos are done, you can always rewatch them later. But we're having fun. At least I am. Okay, so that was number 8. But remember when I said some of these had many little sub-bullets underneath them? The next one is washi. So I use washi, you guys, all of the time I got to clean up. Hang on. All the time in my traveler's notebooks. There are pretty much, let's see, 3 or 4 products that I use almost in everything I do when I'm working with the traveler's notebook. Washi, letter stickers or number stickers, and then decorative stickers, or kind of a subcategory of decorative scissors might be die cuts, and then stamps. So those are kind of the main things that I use. Those are always my go-tos. So we've talked about washi a ton. Well, I've used washi a ton, but let's talk about some of the different things that we can do with our washi, some different kind of tips and tricks and techniques. One of the first ones, and we looked at this, I want to say 2 weeks ago when we made our own inserts. So if you haven't watched that video, I'd encourage you at some point to go back and do it because we had a lot of fun in that one. We made our own inserts with scrapbook paper and then just regular old 8.5 by 11 kind of cardstock. So let's go to this one. This was one of those inserts that we had made, and we put it together using a long reach stapler. So I stapled the center with a long reach stapler. And I could do this. This could be both a form and a function thing. In fact, I'm going to flatten these down a little bit. Well, kind of ish. I'm not going to worry about that. So maybe I don't want to see my staples in the center, right? Deborah, you crack me up. I crack me up. Yeah. I crack everyone up. We all crack each other up, right? Okay. So, I don't want those staples to be showing. Even though sometimes when I put them through the elastic, you don't really see them, but this could serve both as a form. I cover up the staples. Form or function? Function. This could serve as function. I cover up the staples because I don't want to see them, or form because I want it to look cute. So here, I'm just going to take washi. You guys, this rainbow washi I had sold out of. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get it back in, and it just came back in the other day. I had an order for it, but I wasn't sure at the stamp market they had sold out. So, but when I got my order, it was in it. So I was so excited. Anyhow, that rainbow washi, I could use any washi, but I just use that now to cover up my staples. So function, covered up the staples. Form, it is cute, right? I could do that with any of my washi. All right, so that's the first thing with washi. Next thing with washi. This one I covered, oh gosh, this has been, I don't even remember. It's been a video from a long time ago. One of the 8, right? Vicky, Lele. That's funny. I'll do a little scroll for a second. So Vicky and I were in Puerto Rico. My gosh. Vicky, you may have already told the story, but if we did, then everyone will just hear it again. So we were in Puerto Rico teaching at an event, and I want to say this is probably 5 or 6 years ago. It's been quite a while. And the store owner that through the event, Yamile, who now works for American Crafts, she is a hoot and a super neat person. Anyhow, she's Puerto Rican, and she could not, for the life of me, my name just kind of escaped her, and it escapes a lot of people. And that's okay. I've had it my whole life. I'm used to it. But she couldn't quite get Lael, and I don't know if she ever knew that that was my name or not. But she called me Lele. So I love that. That Vicky calls me Lele a lot, which I think is so cute, Lele. There was a friend of mine in college. Her dad couldn't figure out my name. He just called me Lilith. Lilith, like Lillith, Lilith. So I go by lots of things. Okay, so our washi card. So I have here a regular old playing card. It is wax coated, and wax coated is the important part of this because I can use this for washi on the go. So if I just take washi, and I'm just, for the sake of doing this, I'm only going to wrap around once, but I would probably wrap it around quite a few times because, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 times. Then I'm putting all the washi that I want to have on my little card that I can then have with me when maybe I'm in the car working on my traveler's notebook. Maybe I'm on an airplane working on my traveler's notebook. I am in lots of places working on my traveler's notebook, and I don't always want to take, like if I have to take all of this washi with me, and this is probably 1/1000th of all the washi I have, if I had to take all that washi with me, I would have so many bags I wouldn't be able to even go anywhere. I'd have to have a wagon full of washi. Which, doesn't sound like a bad thing, but when you are paying for luggage, when eventually we can fly again, you don't want to have your wagon or suitcases full of washi. So by doing this lets me have in one little card, when we're done, 1, 2, 3, I bet I can get at least 5 different washis. You didn't know, Vicky? You didn't know that was Yamile? Or maybe you did. Maybe I just missed something. All right. Okay. So anyhow, I just keep doing that. And then I'd add one more, the lemons. Oh, you guys, I have so much fun washi coming to my website. Oh, can't wait. This is one of them, that little lemon washi. I just thought it was so cute. All right. So anyhow, I have my washi card. I have 5 different designs of washi. And I could make 5 of those and take them with me and have 25 different washi options with me when I'm traveling or when I'm on the go. Then I could just tuck it into one of my pockets in my insert or in my traveler's notebook, and there you have it. So that washi card tip, I love. Love, love, love that one. Okay, so the next one has to do with washi is, okay, I'm going to swap these two because the next one we need to get a tool out. So I have these all stacked up nicely so I would remember where I needed. But this just reminded me of something. I'm kind of going to go back to the last one, cover a page with scrapbook paper, but this is a little bit of a variation of that. A lot of times I will, in my different traveler's notebooks and things, I might want to add a quote, and I might want to add a quote that I have printed. And in this case, I printed this guy out, not obviously the little chipboard there, but I printed this quote out. Oh, that's from Carrie Bradford. The mind is like water. When it's turbulent, it's difficult to see. When it's calm, everything becomes clear. So I printed that quote out on an 8.5 by 11 piece of white cardstock and then trimmed it down so it fit into my insert, and then I glued it right into my insert. So that's kind of a little bit of a variation on using scrapbook paper. In that case, it's not scrapbook paper, but adding to your insert. Okay, so let me just find these 2 really quick, you guys. Okay, here is one. The other one, well, I don't know where the other one is, so we'll just go for one example here. I don't know where the other one is. Okay, so with washi, I can also use washi to hide things, all right? This, I know I showed this in one of my videos. This, when we built our house, this was my traveler's notebook that I carried with me everywhere, and it had everything about the house in it. All of our notes, all of our meetings, all of our little sketches on different things that we were considerably out, right? Let's look at, anyhow, cabinets, we might like things to look like that, whatever it was. This was the restroom in our master bath. Anyhow, at the very beginning of this, when we started building the house, I ran some numbers. So what our house payment we thought was going to be, and different things like that. I wanted that to be in my traveler's notebook because that was part of, this was very much functional for me. But I also didn't want that to be out there really for everyone to see. So I just took washi and I washi taped 2 pages, just the edges. So if we went back to this little guy, and let's pretend we wanted to do that, let's say to these 2 pages. So I've written some information here, done some journaling or whatever, and I don't want everyone to see that. But I still want to, have it in my traveler's notebook. Then I might take some washi like this. And let's put this over here. And I don't need to tape the whole thing, just enough to kind of, hold it closed. And the nice thing about washi is that because it is temporary-ish, I can do that. So it is closed, but when I want to get back in there to see, or maybe no one's seeing it anymore, then I can, I can just pull the washi off. So there is another example of what I can do with washi. Okay. Last one is creating flips and folds. So where? Oh, you know what? I know where it is. It's in the other example of that one that I couldn't find. So we are going to make some flips and folds. Hang on a sec. Let me get some little tools out here. Bring in all the big things. All right, we'll use our scorer in a sec. Oh, you know what? Okay. Bear with me for a second because let's get some of these other things off that we don't need anymore. We'll put them on the floor. Okay. I try hard to stay very organized and have everything all ready for us to go, but sometimes things get a little crazy. Alrighty, so now let's take a look at 2 examples. So the first one, I have brought in these are free printables from Kelly Rich, Forever and a Day Create. She made some really fun free printables for the coronavirus. If you go to my coronavirus traveler's notebook flip through video here on YouTube, I have linked in there, my friend Tracy Reed put together a very, very, very long list of different artists or different individuals in our community, in our crafting community, that have made some free resources for us to work with, all of us in our little community, as we are documenting the coronavirus. So go to my YouTube video for the coronavirus, you'll see linked Tracy's blog, and then on Tracy Reed's blog, she has a very long post about all the links to things. And that's where you would find this. So very long roundabout way to tell you where you can find what Kelly has done. I don't know Kelly, I don't think, but this is one of many that she did. So I'm going to, these are 4x6 cards that I have printed out. And I'm just going to trim. We'll do one of these, but I need to put this here. You guys are talking about all kinds of ideas. I want to see what they are. I'm going to have to, well, I always do. I'll come back and read all the chat when we're done. Oops. That's one of the things that's so fun about having, well, we're making all kinds of new friends, right? You guys probably, there are those of you that have met through this and you don't really know each other, but now you're chatting and you see each other every week, and we're sharing lots of good tips and tricks. You guys are sharing lots of good tips and tricks. So, all right, I have cut that down. And I want to get my little scoreboard here. And I'm going to score about a half an inch down, half inch from the top. And that for me is a pretty arbitrary measurement. Half inch, I pick a half inch because I'm going to fold that over and I want to apply adhesive to it because I am going to where's my tape runner? Now I could do two things with this. So I want to add this to my traveler's notebook insert that we have been working with. So this little guy. And in my traveler's notebook, when I get there, one of my traveler's notebooks for coronavirus that I'm working on, I would like this to be a little flip up, right? So I have my nice little thing here, and then I can flip that up. I could add a photo, I could add journaling, and then I could put something underneath that. So I could either go ahead and adhere that right now with washi, or I could do this, and this is why I pick half inch. My tape runner, most tape runners are about a half inch in half inch wide there. So I'm gonna take this little guy and I can adhere that down. And then I can take my washi and then I can kind of cover that up if I want. Now I don't have to, if I wanted, I could go the whole way, or I could just go partial like I have here. I adhered that first with my tape runner because I wanted to make sure that sticks, but I wouldn't have to do that. I could just use my washi to hold that down, and then I could use that to make my little flip and fold. So it could be decorative, but I could also use it to hold that down. And I could do that with my scrapbook paper. I could do that. Now, in this case, we are going from the top and flipping up. But I can also come in from the side. And I want to show you using, we're going to use this. This paper I use, so this is from the Stamp Market, their Miss Modern paper. And I have linked this down below. I carry this on my website. We used this in video, I want to say number 6 when we were making our own inserts, but this paper pack is gorgeous. What I'm going to do here, the width of my inserts is 5 and height is 8.25. So 5 by 8.25. And I want to actually make a fold. So I want to have something that's interactive and kind of folds out. So I still need it to be 8.25. I don't want it to be double. I don't want it to be 10 because I want it to be able to open up over here. So I'm going to say, I'm going to do 9. So we'll do 8.25 by 9. So let's go ahead and think that through for a sec. Let's get this little guy out. Now, my height is 8.25, so I want to cut it this way. 8.25. Oh, now this is hard, right? Now we have to decide the 9. What part are we going to cut off? Let's see. 9. We'll cut there. Okay. So 8.25 by 9. Now we're going to get this out of the way again. Bring this guy back in. Oops. And let me see. So if I'm 9, half would be 4.5, but I don't want to score at 4.5 because then I wouldn't be able to open it. So if I score at, let's see, if I score at 5, oh, No, I have to score at, I'm going to score a little bit less than 5. I'm going to score right here at 4 3/4. This will make sense in a minute as I'm just thinking out loud. So I'm scoring at 4 3/4. So now I have my little fold. So here, when I put that into my Traveler's Notebook insert like this, I have lots more room to work with, right? So I could tell a story in here. I could add a lot of photos. I could add multiple lists. I could do whatever I wanted. Quick question, tutorial for the tool holder, this little guy, right? That is on my website. I think I linked for it down below. If I didn't, I will link to it in the description of the video. Okay. So now I have this great little fold out thing, but I need to get it into my Traveler's Notebook, right? I don't want to glue it down because if I glue it down, then I am not able to use this whole back side. So I want to use my washi, and we're basically just doing another iteration of the one where we just did that it flips up. But in this case, we're going to do our tip in. And we talked about tip ins in, oh heavens, I don't even remember which video that was now. Let's see, we'll just use this one because this is kind of basic. So I'm going to come right here. I'm in the center. Well, I don't have to be in the center of the Traveler's Notebook. I could be in the center. Oh, I don't want to do it in that one because I want to use that one. Let's come back here. Okay. And my little guy that's falling apart because we're doing so many things to it because it's not hooked together anymore. Let me grab, this goes back to one of our little tips. We'll use our binder clip to keep that closed for us. All right, so I want to adhere this with my washi. So I'm going to come right here to the center and I'm going to put washi so it is half on that paper and it's half on the insert. So I'm basically hooking those two pieces together. Okay. And then I want to open this up like this. I'm going to come back this way and I want to do it on the back side as well. Oh, I didn't get that very straight. That's okay, you guys. Sometimes when we try to go too fast, right? Half on my pattern paper and half on the insert. Oh heavens, that's not very good. Anyhow, well, we get the gist, right? We get the gist, and then we'll just rip that. So there's another way that I can use washi for a little flip or a little fold, okay? All right. Whew. All right, you guys. Next one, and this is the very last one. And this I get asked a question all the time, and I think this question comes up all the time because a lot of times I hear from people that you are afraid to work in a Traveler's Notebook. You're afraid to work in an insert because you don't know how you want to organize it. You don't know how you want to approach it. You don't know where you want to start. What if you didn't leave enough pages? All of the things. And that's when I say, just do it. It is very inexpensive to buy a little insert or to make your own little insert, right? So this is one of those things that sometimes if we just don't dive in and do it, we'll get paralyzed. But then you say, well, what if I make a mistake, right? What if I make a mistake? I don't want to mess up. And so let's talk about just a couple of the things that you can do if you make a mistake, right? In the very first Traveler's Notebook that I did, this was actually, we were doing this live. I was listing live. This is the first time we did our kind of listing class. And we were, hang on, I'll get there. I should have marked it ahead of time. Oh, I know, it's the bucket list. It's the very beginning. No. Oh my heavens. Okay, hang on. I know if I were to watch the comments, I know some of you are probably telling me exactly where it is because you remember. It had to do with The Godfather. It is, oh my heavens. Okay, here we go. There it is. The what we're watching. This was a really fun list that we did. You guys, that we did together in one of the past classes. We did a list about things that we're watching on TV. And look at Mandy, you know it was the movie one. See, I should have just asked at the beginning. Okay, you guys, tell me where this was. Things we're watching. This was a really fun one, a list that we did, because right now some of us are watching more TV than we normally would, and we may be together as a family, or we may be watching movies with friends on Zoom or whatever it is. But I decided to document what we were watching on TV. And a lot of times, and you guys know me by now, I can squirrel sometimes, where I'll be trying to talk and do something and then my mind goes another direction. And I'm kind of in autopilot, but I'm still working, which is dangerous. And something happened here. So we were working on our list. I was talking about the different things that we were watching. And of course, the Tiger King had to make it on there. I'm listing everything. And then I started talking about The Godfather and how one day my husband, Nick, and Sam decided, this was very early on in the coronavirus, that we should have a day where they watched the Godfather trilogy. And so I was writing and talking, and I wrote The Godfather, and then I wrote trilogy, and I spelled trilogy wrong. You guys, spelling is one of those pet peeves for me. I know, look at you, Lori. I'm impressed. You guys, I'm so impressed. I need to carry you around in my back pocket all the time. You'll help me remember things. So I wrote trilogy and I spelled it wrong. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I spelled it wrong. And I am a little bit of a stickler about spelling. And so I'm like, oh, well, I'm just going to leave it. And then I said, no, wait a minute. I'm not going to leave it. Let's use this as an opportunity to learn what we could do to try to fix it. And that's what I did, you guys. I put a sticker on there, right? So if you make a mistake, we've talked about a couple of different ways that you can fix your mistake, right? The first one was all the way back here. If you really didn't like what you were doing, either go ahead and adhere the 2 pages together, you cover it up, or take it a step further, adhere the 2 pages together, but only along the sides and the bottom to make your pocket. So you've now made your mistake functional, but you can't see what happened on the inside, okay? So there is the first way that we could help ourselves. We can't prevent ourselves from making a mistake, but we can fix it. That's one way, but that's another way. Getting out a sticker, even a piece of paper like this, you guys, I actually have several different packs of this paper because the paper that comes in that collection, because I loved this paper. I love the design of it, but here's the other thing. I love using labels. I love using labels in my traveler's notebook. So the other thing I will be doing, except I would do this, I would cut these, along these little lines first with my trimmer. But then look at, I have, I don't know how many now little labels, like little label die cuts. So I can, if I don't have a sticker that fits, if I do not have a sticker that fits, I can cut out a piece of pattern paper. I have a little label. I could put the label over it like that and then just say, oops. I mean, I could also embrace it. I could say, oops, and it's just covered up. I could put another sticker over it. So using stickers, using little pieces of pattern paper like that happen to be a label. I could, there's one more thing, 2 more things. I could also cover it with washi, right? So if I, where's that one? Oh, here we go. So here, if I spelled, we won't spell with a pencil because we could erase it. Trilogy. I clearly forgot some letters. I forgot an L. If I spelled trilogy, I'm like, oh shoot, I didn't want to do that. That was a mistake. Well, I could just cover it up with washi. Now, depending on what color washi I use, that wasn't a very good one to use because it is a little bit see-through. Lots of washi is see-through, but anyhow, I could cover it up with washi. One more real world example that I want to show you where I messed up and what I did to fix it. Okay, I actually didn't mess up. It was a case where I really didn't like what I did. I stamped on this little spread in my coronavirus Traveler's Notebook, my second one. And this one, you guys, I will have done hopefully sometime this week. And then I will post it again. I'll do a flip through of it again. So let me show you what I did. So remember how I said I don't really stamp in ink very often? Well, here I stamped in ink. And this, after I tried to fix it about 6 different times, I decided I'm just going to cover it up. So I used a one of Carrie's outline stamps. I think it was a Brooklyn outline stamp, and it was just basically an outline of the letters. And I didn't like the way that looked. So then I took a colored pencil, because I had stamped the outline of the letters, I had used pink, and I didn't really like it the way it looked. So then I took a colored pencil that kind of matched, and I colored in the letters. And I'm like, oh, I really don't like that. So then I got out my black Sharpie, and I thought, I wonder if I could just color this to make it black. And I started doing that, but then it was colored pencil on top, and it was all waxy. And I'm like, okay, I really don't like that. So this is what I did. I took a piece of white cardstock, and I stamped on top of it, cut it out, and there you go, right? So that was a way I fixed something that I didn't like. I didn't make a mistake. I just didn't like the way that it turned out. So I can always, cover part of it up. Even if here, let's say I misspelled a word or two in there and I didn't want that to be seen, then I'd cut out a piece of white cardstock, put it right there, and then I could do my journaling over again. Last thing that I want to mention, and this when I pulled this off, it reminded me of something. So every once in a while, you might be working on something, and you either get a little fingerprint. Where's the one I had a fingerprint on? It wasn't bad, but I was working with black stamping ink, and this one I'm just going to have to let slide because it really wasn't bad. Oh, see right here? See how you can see part of my fingerprint right there, because as I was stamping that title, I got a little bit of stamping ink on my finger, and then later I touched that. That's why you always want to clean up, including your fingers. If that really bothered me, I could put a little sticker right there to help cover that up. But sometimes as you are kind of working with things and you're placing things and you put something down and you decide you don't want it to be there, and then you peel it up or you do something like that where you get a smudge, you can always cover it up, right? So you can always cover things up with something. We used to joke way back in the day when we were scrapbooking and I was teaching classes about using rub-ons. So sometimes you would use a rub-on, and if you didn't clean up your mess like this, your little rub-on would come off on your project right in the middle of something. And that's when you would grab a sticker, or I don't even know if there was washi back then. Well, there was washi, but I don't think in the scrapbook world we use washi. But you'd always look for something to cover it up. In this case, when I had pulled off, it's just when I pulled this off now, it removed a little bit of the paper. So sometimes if you get a little bit of glue on something or a little bit of your adhesive on something and it kind of rips the page a little bit, that's okay, because just find something to cover it up. And if it rips it enough or it makes enough of a mess that you can't fix it, then go back to what we did before. Just glue that together and then move on. Okay, my friends, we are 12:13. Holy cow, 2 hours and 15 minutes. All right. So since Sam isn't here, I am going to flip the camera. So this could get a little wonky, so bear with me. Because he always flips it and turns it and does some weird things. So bear with me. I think I know what he does. I think we go like this, and then I think we have to turn it this. Hey, I think we're still here. Okay, good. Oh, good. Sorry, you guys. So I thought maybe I had accidentally, I can see this over here too. I thought maybe I had accidentally, when I tried to flip it, turned it off. So now we're just going to hold it. I will hold it with my hand, and we'll just do that. Okay, you guys, it's way out here. Thank you. That was fun. That was, I wasn't quite sure how that would turn out. Our kind of just tips, tricks, and techniques. I thought it would take a lot shorter to do. What am I doing? Oh, sorry. I'll leave that alone. I thought it might take us a lot shorter amount of time to get through our 10, and now I know. So I have more tips, tricks, and techniques that up my sleeve. So we will do another one of these in the future. You guys, I started thinking this week, and eventually, I mean, I kind of started doing all of this. We were so early in the coronavirus. I think the first weekend was maybe like the 21st of March, and my intent was just to do two. Just to do two. Oh, hang on, guys. I'm gonna keep talking, but I'm looking for something. Oh, it's across the room. I need my little. Well, here, you're with me. We're just walking around the room right now. Hang on. Hold on. Hang on. Okay, there we go. All right, I had to get my case with the pop sock on it because it's going to make it much easier for me to hold the phone. All right, so originally I was thinking 2 classes. Here we are on 8. I am eventually, when whatever semblance of normal is that we return to, I'm going to keep doing classes at least once a month. At least once a month. And I think what would be really fun is if we do, and I'm not stopping now, so don't think we're stopping yet. But I think it'd be really fun if once a month, one Saturday a month, we do our lists. So we'll list together live. You'll know ahead of time what to bring, and we will just kind of have fun listing. So I will continue doing that for sure. I am still kind of thinking of other content that I can continue to provide every week. So we will definitely have a week 9. I have some ideas, but I haven't quite nailed them down yet. We may talk about, well, I don't know. I've started jotting down some ideas, but they're not fully like fleshed out yet. So I don't want to kind of be talking about them before I really know what I'm going to do. So there will be a week 9. Stay tuned for week 9. And yeah, so you guys enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Enjoy Mother's Day. I am going to try to, my phone is one way. I can see your comments, but your comments are the other way. So if I look over here, I'm on board. You go back to work. But Teresa, that's okay because you can, Teresa, you can always watch them after the fact. All right, you guys, we're going to hang up. We are going to, list kits in my shop. Deborah, I like that idea. Okay, you guys, you guys are giving me tons of other ideas. So I am going to, I had to look at my other screen. I'm going to read those and we'll come up with some really good ideas for next time. If you have questions, if you have suggestions, if you have other things that you always wondered about and you want to know how to do that. And if I don't know, I'll research it and I will figure it out. Leave them in the comments. So not here in the chat, leave them in the comments because if you leave it in the chat, then I can't respond to you once the chat is done. So leave comments and go ahead and leave a comment anyway in the regular part because I want to see you and respond. If you like the video and you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And until next Saturday. Thanks, you guys. Bye-bye. And